All right, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, but basically, once you have your letters designed, what do you do with them as far as color and form and style? And you should be asking yourself, you should be taking yourself through all the different elements of art and all the different principles of design, and ask yourself things like, do I want to give it form? And I kind of did with a drop shadow. How did I do a drop shadow? Very simple. I took my original, duplicated it, made it black, got rid of the stroke, went up here to effects, stylized feather, and you can preview what that looks like. I think I ended up using like a 8. Click OK. Pulled that below the other one and use the arrow keys to set it where I want it, and that was that drop shadow. So you can also play around with effects. There are effects that will essentially do the same thing. If you go to Effect, 3D, and there is Extrude and Bevel. Check this out. I had to have the object selected first. Let's try that again. Yeah, so you could do that. That's kind of a, I don't know. Once you do that, you're kind of giving up a lot of control and letting the computer do things for you. I don't know. It's not, to me, the best thing, but there's some other effects you could play around with. You could try doing the, I don't know, give it some texture, stylize it using like an outer glow. There's a drop shadow right there. Let's preview it. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's just as good as the one I did, so why not? Think about color. Let me go through the principles of design. Does it have balance? Yeah, there is kind of a blank space up here, so it is a little push down on that side. So is there anything I could do? Well, maybe I could put something up here, like, I don't know, some sort of logo. So maybe this is where I design the Janelli logo, which is, let's say it's a circle, and it's got this, oops, why won't you let me do that? Got a circle there, and then over here, use the anchor points. Oh, I'm on the plus, sorry. Pen tool, okay. So let's say I have like a, I don't know, just kind of playing around here, but let's say that my logo is, it's a pretty dumb logo, but I'm going to select both these objects, and I'm going to join them. Nope, can't. I'm going to fill them in. And I believe I can use the Pathfinder tool to window Pathfinder, just like we can use it to take one object away from another. I think if we click on this one, it'll blend them together. So there you go. That's a pretty awful logo. But hey, give me a break. I could do some color and stuff on it. But anyway, just thinking about balance. How do you use all your space? Movement and rhythm. I don't really have any. I don't have any flowing lines. I don't have any repetition. But I don't know, one quick way I could think of to maybe add some movement and rhythm is if I wanted to do something like this. I don't want to, but if I did, for these types of shapes, no, not a really good idea. I have very little movement and rhythm in this. This is basically a still feeling. When you look at this, it's your eye's not moving around. There's no sweeping lines. There's no spirals. I could if I wanted to. Maybe I could put some spirals on here, but that right now there's no movement. Emphasis. I kind of have emphasis here in the center because it's the brightest. Kind of having a reason for that. I guess the fact that I have emphasis here is because I wanted to kind of make it look like this was the light source and that everything was kind of being lit up by this electric blue kind of cold feeling. I kind of think of ice and I kind of think of electricity, kind of futuristic, so that's kind of the look I was going for. Unity and variety. I have a little bit, you can ask yourself, do I want every letter to be the same or do I want it to be different? Do I want it to be the same color, the same whatever? I kind of went with more of the unity thing. They're kind of looks like they're part of the same object because I put this gradient on them that ties them together. But if you want variety, every color different, that's fine. But if you do that, just think of a color scheme. Don't just throw random colors out. What would be a good reason to have these colors. You know, pastels, soft colors, or all the colors of the rainbow, or you know, maybe nature. So you want to stay with greens and maybe just stick to like 4 or 5 colors at most. Not a bad idea. Pattern. In the background, if I wanted to have done a pattern, I could have instead of just this kind of boring gray, but I didn't. Proportion. I didn't really mess with proportion. If I wanted to, maybe I suppose I could have really overdone the size difference between the O and the other 2 letters. I did not, but I could have. So like something like that, messing with proportion, you know. If you do that, have a reason other than just, I don't know. If you have some sort of reason to do that other than just, I don't know, you wanted proportion, because you don't have to use all these elements in every single thing you do. Contrast. I gotta make sure that the background is at least contrasted enough with the foreground. I actually didn't want too much contrast though. I thought that was a little bit overdoing it, and my aesthetic choice was that this having a slightly less contrasty image was kind of what I was going for. I didn't want a stark image on this one. It's not they're soft letters, and that's just the decision that I made. So take yourself through it and ask yourself about each of those, and maybe you'll decide to break some of the rules, and maybe you'll decide you don't want to do some things differently and you like the way it looks. But at least by now, as designers, we're going through the process and we're asking ourselves, you know, what's the purpose of this? Does this represent you? Is there anything you could do to make it better? You know, to me, this personally is not my best work. If I had spent a little bit more time kind of planning it out, I probably would have chosen some different types of letters. I kind of liked the one I did in the first example better, the stark J's, but I just wanted to give you guys another chance to view something in case you had different types of letters. So I think I'd probably go more with this style and play around with that and get some motion in there and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys get to work, and this is gonna be due, I believe, Friday, unless I hear from you guys differently. And then I want you guys to work on your next assignment, which is going to be to design an article of clothing. No longer are you going to be doing the video game one. We're going to save that for when we do animations. But you guys will be designing an article of clothing, like a clothesline, basically. So I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you soon.